How's we supposed to feel like we gonna get anywhere as a people if we don't know how to talk to each other? How do we feel as a people if we want to work together? We have to learn how to talk to each other. We have to know how to communicate. We have to know how to communicate the right way and about the right things. Because everything is not supposed to be communicated. Certain things you just allow Jah to do the work. And when you overstand that, you can never forget it. It's something that like when you ground yourself, you see the wind blow. It's like, okay, not to stress yourself out over it. You just give it the job. It's a very powerful tool, mindset that's coming forth through the 8-8 portal. It's already here. It's already here. And we must understand that at any point in time, the communication is key, and not just with one another, but one's body, with one's temple, your communication with your inner body, your inner self. You must always have that proper communication. Because sometimes when things come in balance, it may be a problem for others, but it's not a problem when you're naturally always keeping your tempo balanced, and that's the focus. So when it becomes unbalanced, you know how to get it back balanced. You know how to balance the scales. See, and that's what we have to do. We have to learn how to balance the scales, knowing what to communicate about, when to communicate about it, how to do it, when to do it. Not just communicating just to be doing it. No, it's intentional, it's purposeful. It has its reasoning. It has its tone. And we must understand that this is one of the steps. These are the one of the many steps that we as a people are going towards. Through Rastafari, it's very simple. It's not something that needs to be bridged. It just needs to be said and done. Very simple. It's being said, it's being done, so be it. Give it the job. And when you ground yourself and you keep yourself grounded and you stay, within that balance and keeping that balance and consistency within that balance, that's how we strive as a people, is consistency within the balance. It's showing up for yourself. And we as a people know that this is how we move. This is the tribe. This is not something that is rocket science. It's very grounded. It's very purposeful. It's very meaningful. It's uplifting. It's very proud. It's very strong. It has structure, discipline. Balance, consistency. This is not something that is willy nilly, like you just wing it. No, it's a everyday purposeful living, being, existing. Frequency, vibration, and going to this 8-8 portal. We must know that certain things will not stand anymore, and we will not stand. Just not speaking and communicating without consistency and balance, without balance and consistency, proper balance, purposeful balance within communication within one another. That is a frequency vibration that is going within this 8-8 portal and going into the new earth, into the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, for those that speak that language. Stepping into the fourth and fifth dimension, you have to understand that communication is key. It's no longer just doing. Everything is purposeful going into the fourth and fifth dimension. Every last step, every last breath, every last heartbeat, every last grounding, every last meditation, every last reading, every last download. Going into the fourth and fifth dimension, everything is purposeful, it's meaningful, it's uplifting, it's healing. It's timeless. That means when it's done again, it resonates in the future, the now and today, and forever. It's not something that is 3D anymore. No, we are past that. We are stepping into the fourth and fifth dimension of a new earth, vibration and frequency. The earth vibration is rising. It's been rising, and it will continue to rise. I are going through a Saturn in Pisces, and knowing that I'm going through a Saturn in Pisces, to where these frequencies, vibrations are connected to me in a different sense, indicating, involving the waters with Pisces and being close to the waters. I'm understanding that through my lineage, through my natal chart, through my, spirituality, that the things that are happening here and that's being said and that's being done during this time, during this 8-8 portal, during this moment in time, moment in this rim, that there is no longer things that will be done. It's not something that it's something that's naturally going to happen. So I'm more of knowing that, understanding I one with Jah, knowing that things are just going to vanish. Certain things that you thought would matter to you, certain things that you thought that were so, purposeful in life, it won't have its value anymore. We'll step into a realm where everything is, dot your I's and T's. You know what I'm saying? It's a mission every single time. There's no question about it. So when you step into the fourth and fifth dimension, when you say that, even if you want to say you want to be plant-based and say you want to start grounding yourself, that's stepping into the fourth and fifth dimension. It's simply saying, I want to be one with the ground, one with nature again. It's very simple. It's not rocket science. It's really just saying, putting the effort. When you meditate to the east. Ground yourself for 15 minutes. Fast a little bit in that day. Because Jah sees that you're being one with your temple every day, and you're doing the effort within all the chaos that's going on in the world, whatever is going on in life, that you took the time to ground yourself, point to the east, and meditate for 15 minutes before you start your day. That's how you receive your blessings. That's how you receive everything that you really want. You allow it to come to you. But it's about having a connection with Yah by simply just saying, I'm going to ground myself every day. I'm going to write some affirmations down. I'm going to speak those affirmations to myself. It's very simple. It's not something that you need to go to college and all this extra stuff about life. No, that's to run away from the grounding. We know what Babylon did. Create the system to get it so you won't create your own system. How could you ever start anything from the ground up when you can't even wake up? We can't not even taught to wake up and ground. Could you imagine if everyone was taught to wake up and ground? Oh, over there in China, they probably do that, and you wonder why they take over the world and they have all this stuff, right? Yeah, because they simply wake up and ground and teach their children to wake up and ground, how to start their day, how to stretch, how to intermediate fast, how to just wake up and have a smoothie, and then wait till lunch to eat something after you stretch and ground yourself, whatever, however the flow goes. But they don't teach these things. Going to the fourth, fifth dimension, this is the things that will be natural. Certain things you won't do anymore. The changes already happened. It's already others that already are in this frequency vibration. But it comes to a point where it's a consistency. It's not it's a must do. It's not something you say I'm not going to do. Something you say no, I must do every day. Yeah, we understand it could be the weather, could be this and that. Maybe not. But the point is stepping into it. Say, you know what? I want to try it. See how I feel. You know, it's intentional. The fourth and fifth dimension is a mindset. Rastafari is a mindset. It's a mindset so then your physical body listens to your mind and does what it's supposed to do and do what y'all say. It's not rocket science. Everyone knows that what? If you have your mind, it tells the physical body what to do. Once it starts, your mind tells it what to do, then it runs down the tree of life. It doesn't start from the bottom up. When it comes down, no, it starts from the brain. Then it goes down. It resonates with the chakras and all that. But it starts at the top. And we must understand this. Once you make the conscious decision, say, I'm going to ground myself towards the east. Do some breath work. Breathe in 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Breathe out. I'm going to do that for 15 minutes. And I'm going to stretch. And I'm going to go about my day. But it's not even just that simple about going about your day. After that, then you set more intentions. You go write some affirmations. Depending on your journey. Depending on where you at. You know, do whatever light work that you're doing. Because that's going within the fourth and fifth dimension. It's called light work. Each of us has the light within us. But we must do our light work, our spiritual work. Each and every day to strive. Not focus on Babylon. Because Babylon is fallen. So going into the fourth and fifth dimension, that will not exist. The ones that created Babylon, it will exist in their world. because they created their system, so they're doing everything in their power to keep it going, but not knowing that they're gonna fall with it while it's going. While they're trying to keep it going, they're gonna fall with it while they're trying to keep it going, and that's their problem. So, and that's low vibrational things that doesn't exist in the fourth and fifth dimension. In the fourth and fifth dimension, we don't vibrate in on the frequency of, attachment. You know what I'm saying? Everything is nothing. There's no attachment. Everything flows freely. It has a flow. There's no like attachment. So Babylon is doing everything in their power to still stand while falling. So when you understand that, it's just like, who want to be a part of that in their right mind anyway? That's what I'm saying. It's not rocket science to me. It's very simple. It's just what's low vibrational and what's highly vibrational. And that's because through Rastafari, I felt it through a sound barrier, through me being into music and me knowing about frequencies and vibration. So when I was introduced to Rastafari, I understand that, hold on, Babylon is falling. They've been falling because Babylon is toxic. So that's not a highly vibrational thing. And it's more of the mind. Because Babylon could, in a sense, have its balance. But it all starts with, is everyone grounding every day? Why can't that be the balance? Why can't that be the simple balance in this realm that we live in? Why can't everybody come out their house at a certain time, ground themselves, and then go about their day? Why couldn't that be a thing? It could, if it was set up that way from the beginning. But that's why it's falling, because it wasn't. That's why, because it's falling because it wasn't. It didn't start that way from the beginning. It did not start like that way from the beginning. So that's the whole point of a reset. That's the whole point of the new beginnings, the age of Aquarius, the 8-8 portal. Is to understand, like, hold on. No, I need to ground myself every day. This world is getting chaotic. Yeah, it is the end days in Babylon. Yeah, but we still got to exist in Babylon, right? So when you're going out in Babylon, you need to be grounding yourself to overall protect yourself, protect your temple. Be one with Jah first before you just go out into the world, because it can get chaotic. It can be that way. Yeah, I mean, it is Babylon. That's what I'm saying. We have to understand, like, hold on. You could never forget that going into any type of Babylon system, any type of thing, there's always room for a certain vibration, because it's Babylon. It's the Matrix. There's anything can happen. But when you detach from Babylon, and go into the fourth and fifth D mindset, you know that there's only a certain thing that's going to happen. Everything over here is highly vibrational. Everything over here is a high frequency. There's no low vibrational things over here, so there will be no room for no chaos. There will be no room for certain things. It will not exist no more. So even when it comes down to the social media and the certain stuff on, if you have a feed in that realm, it won't. When you have a feed in that realm, it won't exist low vibrational things. Yes, the feed still exists. Of course, the grid still exists. The grid will still exist, because that's more of a newer stage. The grid is more of a newer age. So they had the high-tech stuff to keep this stuff here longer, yes. But all that old stuff that was here, that's in the last, since 19, I'm going to say 19, 90s, 80s, that stuff is getting wiped away. That mindset is getting wiped away. I come from that mindset. I was born in that rim. So I know what it felt like. I know what Babylon is. I know what the Matrix is. When I came into this rim, I was in the soul of all of the concrete of knowing what I came into this rim for. This is not right. Babylon doing all this to our people to do for what? We for what? We we are the chosen seed. But we have to participate in Babylon, but y'all created Babylon, so that was never something for us to participate in. But then you created a system for us to make us be a part of it. Okay, and then we even did that and built it, and then you still we help you build it, and then you still nothing. So then it gets to a point of just like, okay, we can't exist in Babylon no more. We'll no longer participate in certain Babylon ways no more. It fades away. If anything, you will be streaming on the grid. That's it. That's it. That's the only way that you will be partaking in Babylon. All the other stuff, it will not be a thing. Yes, you can communicate. Yes, you'll be able to focus on your sole purpose through the technology. We don't have the technology for no reason. They don't put it in the movies for no reason. They put it in the movies because we are living in that age of leveling up technologies for your sole purpose. Not for entertainment. Entertainment is 3D. The 4D mindset is not, no, it's not entertainment. It's technology with purpose. The wordings change, the mindsets change. This is not something that is, when you understand nature, when you have a relationship with the earth, when you know how the realms speak, the vibration is changed. And that's the whole point of being plant-based. That's the whole point of being in tune with, your gut health. It's to understand that, hold on, I'm in tune with the earth frequency. So I know when certain things ain't right. I know how to rebalance myself. Yeah, and you know how to change with nature. That's the whole point. When you know how nature speaks, that's the whole point of being in tune and going into the 4 and 5D. Is because the vibration and the frequency of earth is increasing. So we must increase with it. And it's very simple. You just have to open your mind and say, hold on, Babylon is toxic. But if the earth is changing, it's getting more highly vibrational, that means whatever low vibration is going to fade. So naturally, Babylon is falling, whether they like it or not. It wasn't built properly. It wasn't built properly. This is not about race. They make it about race. They make it about the land. Yeah, of course. They make it about power, of course. But if you want to just look at the overall build-up foundation, when you start something with Social Security, just to fund for the police, take count of people just to fund the police. I understand it, but I don't understand it because why would you code yourself like that? Why would you create a code? That's something that you're not supposed to do on an overall scale that way. You're not supposed to make a system that way. If you make a system that way, it's supposed to be invisible. It's not supposed to be scattered across every platform and needed everywhere. It's supposed to be a code that's only needed in certain areas. Not for every last thing in a system. That's backwards. And going into the 8-8 portal, this new earth, this 4-5D mindset, you must know, understand that Whatever is literally low vibrational is going to fade. Rules, regulations, all this stuff. If it's low vibrational, it won't exist no more. That's the whole point of detaching from certain vices, detaching from certain mindsets, detaching from certain ways of living. Now, because Babylon is falling, I feel like this 8A portal, it will officially fall. In the sense of the technology is going to rise because that's a whole different world now. That doesn't exist in that system the other system, because it wasn't striving in that system. It's striving in this system. So when you think about Babylon falling, it's not going to be the technology stuff. That stuff is only going to increase. But in other ways, it is falling. Everything that was built from the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, around that rim, that construct, it's falling. That mindset is falling. That way of living is falling. That all that stuff that they every last movie that they promoted, every last movie that they promoted, when people were smoking cigarettes, thinking that it was cool, when people was just living a certain way and thinking that it was cool, yeah, we just living. No, that mindset is gone. And the 4 or 5D movies won't even be the same. It will not be the same. You will visually not be seeing certain things anymore. We will not be seeing that anymore. That won't exist in that rim. Because the earth vibration is increasing. We must understand that it's not something that you can really stray away from. It's naturally going to happen. So you just have to make a choice. And it's one step every day. Saying, I'll make a conscious choice to level up one step. And be consistent in it. And have a balance in it. Like I always say, nobody is perfect. That's not the focus. That's not the focus, not even a little bit. It's not the point. The point is saying, hold on. A simple mindset saying the earth frequency is rising. Are we not on planet Earth? We are. We can anyone can have their certain conspiracies and this and that or whatever they believe, but we can not gonna say we're not on planet Earth. Everyone knows that. Okay. So if we are in tune with the earth that we are on, we know how to vibrate with it. We know how to survive with it. We know how to go with earth. If you're not grounded to the earth, if you're not having a balance and consistency, certain things won't exist anymore. Just make a choice. Say you want to fall with Babylon, or every day I'm gonna do something to try to be highly vibrational. One step at a time. I'm gonna ground myself every day. I'm making my obligation would be I and I one with Jah. And don't do it with saying I want things in return. No. You will naturally get things in return, but you won't have to search for it. But when you do search for it, you know what's the point. You'll know the meaning of it. You'll know the difference, like, hold on. I do like listening to the birds now. Now when I walk on the grass, my feet I don't care about stepping on a pine cone, because I like the grass now. I don't care if an ant is trying to bite me. I'm in the grass. I'm in nature. I'm around the trees. I realize where I'm at. But when we go outside, we don't realize where you're actually at. These trees are alive. This grass is alive. These birds are alive. We all exist in this rim. But we don't go outside and talk with the birds. We don't go outside and sit with them and chill with them. When they come in certain places, people freak out and try to kill them. For what? Are we not on planet Earth? Did you forget? Of course, that's the whole point of Babylon. It's to make you forget where you're at. Forget your purpose. Forget why you're at. Make you forget. Make you want to go in the bunker and just what? That's what they want to do. They make the rules and go in their secret places and chill. But then they run Babylon. That we supposed to suffer for? No. That's not how it goes anymore. Because y'all the one that messed with the planet Earth. Did you not forget where you was at? I guess y'all forgot too. So nature is going to work out in its favor. It's going to rise, and anything that's low vibrational will not exist. And we know that Babylon and a lot of people that love Babylon, that consist in it and still live in it, they love it. They're going to fall with it too. Because they forgot where they was living at. But it's a conscious choice. It's every day that you are given breath, you have the opportunity to say, you know what? I don't want to fall with Babylon. You know what? I might want to eat off the tree today. I realize where I'm at. I respect Mother Nature. I respect the trees. I respect the water. I appreciate it while I'm here. That's why you ground yourself. It's overall saying, you know what? I have a respect of my life. I appreciate that I came here to this rim. It's not a religious thing. Oh, I'm trying to be holy. No, it's simply resonating with the planet Earth. Saying, I realize where I'm at. I was given life through Jah. And appreciating it every day. And showing that you appreciate it every day. By simply grounding yourself to the east. And if you're an adult, tapping more into your spiritual gifts. Intermediate fasting. It starts there. Doing breath work, stretching. Listening to the birds. Having silence. Making it the obligation to say, no, hold on. There can be a balance, but what am I doing with my time? What am I doing with my day-to-day liberty? When it comes down to Rastafari, it's not something that you even have to keep saying. It's more of a knowledge, a consciousness, a way of life. It is. It's not a religion. It's a consciousness. It's highly vibrational. It knows when something is low. It knows how to get it balanced. This is a lot of the knowledge and stuff that was kept from a lot of us. But it's very, very simple. And that's why when I understand Rastafari through Bob, I know that it was very simple. Everybody was on one accord. That's all that it was. When you speak of reggae music, everybody was on one accord. When you speak of Rastafari, liberty, when everyone's eating plant-based and things of that nature, and you incorporate the natural instruments, and you incorporate a band, you incorporate instruments, what are you saying? It was being on one accord. Because you can't act like everybody can't catch a rhythm. Everyone can catch a rhythm. When you're balanced, you can catch a rhythm when your body's naturally balanced. When you give the tempo proper things. Anyone can do anything. Yes, you can. Through Jah, anything is possible. Yes, because you're balancing your tempo. Are we gonna forget we all are in the human body, right? Yes. So it's all about alignment. That's all that it's about. And through Rastafari, I realized that it's all about alignment. Everyone being on one accord. to create masterpiece, to be on, to to live free, to actually get things done in the most righteous way. And I just always think about the flashbacks of my social studies books all these years, and I'm like, I ain't never seen nothing correlated to Ethiopia or really in that sense. Not really. Besides maybe the famine, that's all they showed was the famine, and then that's it. The homelessness, the bad stuff. Of course, that's what Babylon will only show. They're not going to show you the royalty side of Haile Selassie and his family and his wife and his children. They're not going to show you the royalty that existed in this rim. No, they give you the Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, he never really had no land. I'm not sure if he really had land in his time. I'm sure he had a house and maybe. But then they put his face up. They give him his proper dues to the streets and the names everywhere you go. There's a Martin Luther King, I think, in every was it street or like somewhere in every like state. I understand that, but I see it from a different rim. What was his diet like? Was he a nutritionist? Was he into the body, the temple, the chakras? Or no, he had to exist in that time. But we live in a new time though. We live in a new time now. We live in a new timeline. The earth vibration has rise since then. It's not rocket science. That was in the 60s and 70s. Bob Marley existed in the 60s and 70s. It was very bad back then. Yes, it was. The earth was on a certain vibration. We are in 2025 now. The animals are not the same. Certain animals are not here. So certain animals are only here, and those animals are only wanting to be highly vibrational. They're the ones that's grounded to the earth every day. They respect the earth every day. We're the ones that's been programmed to Babylon to not respect the earth every day. So if we want to say who really runs planet Earth, it's the animals, it's the insects, it's them. So how is we, they was here before us, how are we going to lose respect for them? It's not simple as just dogs. No, we ain't talking about just dogs. We're talking about animals that's been here. I know for sure the butterfly and the turtle has been there since the beginning. And they still here. We have to get into learning them. Because that's what we did. We studied them. We studied nature. But there has to be a balance. With the 4 or 5D mindset, it has to be a balance. It's not focused on saying no one's perfect. That's not the focus. It's saying I'm wanting balance. I'm going to choose to just play some frequencies while I clean up. That's just saying balance. I'm going to choose to, while I'm sleeping, play some frequency music while I'm sleeping, while you're writing, while you're making your food, while you're meditating, while you're working out, playing highly vibrational things in that nature. That's saying I want balance. That's saying that I'm looking to align my chakras. I'm purposely, intentionally saying, hold on, I want to focus on my temple. Nature, Jah sees that. The Most High sees that. The animal sees that. Then they want to come vibe with you. They taught us to make us think that even insects, yeah, we understand if something bites you, yeah, they can hurt you, yeah, but it's not a scarcity. Children, when something would crawl on them, they didn't care. They didn't know what it was. They didn't have no fear. Where did they come from? In the movies, the visual, you know what I'm saying? The alchemy they did on the visual standpoint through the movies. Obviously, we know through the music, it's already been a thing. That's the whole point of Bob Marley, is to show like, hold on, we can make beautiful music, not like what Babylon would want. No, we're gonna all be on one accord, natural instruments, things of that nature. But we already know how the industry is now. That it's not even a point to focus on the industry. It's to say, hold on, the industry does not exist in the fourth and fifth dimension. It is low vibrational. It will not exist anymore. So the ones that want to exist in that rim, that industry is changed. It is digital. You will make your files and send your files, and that will be all. You will not need to go to the studio no more. There will be no need for you, no artists, no rappers, no producers, nobody to go to the studio no more. If you do that, that is part of Babylon. You are risking your life. There's no point in that anymore in this time. We don't exist in that. That's the whole point of home studios and sending files. If you want to be in the Matrix, that's up to you. If you want to be in Babylon, I understand, overstand. But if you're healing in Babylon, that's different. If you're healing in Babylon, that's different. But if you are just going to the studio just to go to the studio, remember, Babylon is low vibrational. It does not exist in a highly vibrational sense. So if you are healing in Babylon, okay. But if you're not healing in Babylon, there's no need for you to just be there. There's no need. It's no need. It's no need. The times have changed. We're able to communicate differently and have a consistency and more balance. If you want to be truthfully, that's the whole point of technology. We're able to communicate on more of a true balance. To say, you know what? You have to understand that certain video games, it won't exist anymore. And this is all meaning if you're choosing to change your diet. I'm speaking from a mindset of knowing that, hold on, if I'm eating plant-based, if I'm in tune with nature, I'm naturally going to stop doing these things. You're going to see the results. You're going to be like, Ajaman was right. Like, I don't even do that stuff no more because it's low vibrational. You start to not want to be around certain people no more, not around, but like music. You start to say, like, hold on, like, I ain't like that didn't resonate with me no more. But when you in Babylon, certain stuff is going to still resonate with you. It's going to be more of a pull and tug saying, like, I really don't like that, but I can tolerate it. I really don't like that, but I can tolerate it because I am in Babylon. But when the natural earth frequency is still rising through this 8-8 portal, certain stuff won't exist no more. And you're naturally going to be like, I don't know what's happening to me, but it just stopped. Certain stuff is going to stop, and you're going to be like, I don't even know what's really happening. I'm just going with the flow. Because naturally, some of us are going to go with the flow, and we are going with the flow. Some of us are going to start fasting start drinking more water, start drinking more, eating more fruits every now and then, just being more conscious. So you know what? When was I born? What is my moon sign? What is my rising sign? What is my Venus sign? I wonder what house I got in this, in my natal chart. I wonder. It's very simple. In the fourth and fifth dimension mindset, the earth frequency is rising and the mindset is rising. To certain schools, we won't do certain stuff in schools no more. Certain things will not be taught no more. It will not be taught the same. We already know books has been disappeared. It's already on technology, so even those systems are changing. It has already changed. It will only keep increasing. So when you talk about digital, we talk about digital assets, when you talk about currency, when you talk about NFTs, when you speak about NFTs, that shows that we live in a whole different world. Y'all cannot forget that 2020 happened. 2020 happened, that was the reset. But this is now the spiritual reset. Because when you have a spiritual reset, we were never running off of Babylon's time. Babylon's time, they wanted to have their reset in 2020. But 5 years later, now the true spiritual reset has started, has really begun. And the technology is still here. And NFTs and things of that nature are here. Everyone is on YouTube. It is here. Digital currency is here. It's up to us. Are you stepping into your purpose every day saying, hold on, I have to exist in this realm. I cannot forget that I'm on planet Earth. Well, okay, well, I might have to get into the digital currency world. I might have to go live. I might have to make some shorts. I might have to make some videos. I have to create some content. Because we live on a certain rim. The Earth frequency is increasing. So fourth and fifth dimension, it doesn't say the fourth and fifth dimension, it goes up. So the technology gets better. It gets cooler, but it gets more purposeful. And that's what we're going into. Did we not see Spy Kids? Did y'all not see Spy Kids? They put it right in our face. The technology is going to be great. It's going to be cool. But they were using it for purpose. They were using it for protection. They were using this technology to upgrade their selves, to help them. Yes, they have video games and stuff of that nature. Yes, it will exist, but only certain ones. It won't be like just for no reason. It will be more strategy. It'll be more strategy driven or certain things of that nature to help and purposely help in certain areas. To help you, be more on your toes and, balance your own, things out in your own individuality. What I needed more strategy. Okay, I need to work on this. So I play this video game to help with this in my life. Or, you know what I'm saying? When I am chilling, it's more about what am I intaking? What am I looking at? What am I visually, purposely looking at? That's going to make me focus on my purpose. Going to the fourth or fifth dimension, it's a mindset. It's not nothing to be scared of. Oh, like we're aliens or something. No, it's a mindset of saying I'm thinking higher. I'm grounding myself every day. I'm eating fruits and vegetables. I am drinking teas. I am drinking herbs. I am doing my spiritual work. But as a collective, do we realize as a collective how this works for us as a people? We would naturally be in unity. It simply starts as grounding yourself every day. The earth will speak to you. Yes. Did you forget that we're on planet Earth? Yep. I understand because not all of us go outside as much. Not all of us is nature driven like that. But guess what? Yeah, that's because of the Wi-Fi box. That's why as soon as somebody's phone loses connection, they go back in the house. Listen, I understand, but I am an empath. I keep my phone on airplane mode for a reason. I have to shut myself off of it sometimes too. Having a balance. No one's saying that you can't use it. Of course, everyone's gonna use it. That's the realm that we live in. Of course, the technology is it more of our age. It's a new age thing. It's not going anywhere. You will be able to use it again. It's not going nowhere. So when you take the time to ground yourself and put your phone on airplane mode for a certain amount of hours, you will realize that you're going to be right back on grid with no problem. It's not going nowhere. So when you understand that, you say, okay, I am going to ground myself now with intentions, because why was I so attached to the other stuff anyway? It ain't going nowhere. And I understand that because I have experienced that. I used to love video games. I used to love 2K. I used to really think that was real life. How you make your My Player and this, that, how you would put the picture on the image and all that. And you get excited. But then I started to look at my own life. I started to say, hold on. They made this game. This game is cool. I love this game. But they made this game. I didn't make this game. I said, hold on, I want to make my own game. I want to make my own sounds. for the video games. Okay, I'm gonna start there. And I started making beats. I started making instrumentals, turned into a composer. I didn't even know what a composer was until I started making beats. Say a composer, that means I'm a composer if I'm making instrumentals for films and for video games. I'm a composer then. Okay, send me on my path in 2017. That is what I mean by being more in tune. It's saying, hold on, it's very simple. I want my own video game because I like this game so much. It's saying I see what Babylon did here. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna do that my own way. I'm gonna attempt it. But that's the mindset that we must know and be in tune with the earth. Is when the earth is increasing vibration, you say, I'm gonna increase my I'm not gonna have no fear. In the fourth and fifth dimension, fear does not exist. Fear does not exist in the fourth and fifth dimension mindset. It does not exist. The fear only exists when Babylon wanted to. But then for the fifth dimension, fear does not exist. So there'll be no need to say, oh, I can't do this. Those words wouldn't even exist. You know that you can because you're grounded with the earth. Anything is possible with Jah. You'll never forget it. And it will your blessings will start to come right into your face. You'll start to see, like, hold on. I got all these blessings just because I started to ground myself. Yeah. My health got better just because I started to ground myself. Yeah. Now I want to be more in tune with the animals. I'm not scared of animals no more. Yeah. Now you want to learn how to swim. You're not scared of the water no more. Yeah. Now I like listening to the birds when they wake me up. Yeah. But they don't teach these things. They say, yo, you got to wait till you're an adult and learn yoga. Are you serious? You going to sit here and say, we have to wait until we're in whatever grade or whatever year of age what's the natural age of someone young learning yoga? I'm going to say in their late 20s. In the movies, you see late people, women, after they have a child or something, now they want to learn yoga. When they see you in the grass. Why does it take to see that when someone is 20-some years old and having to pay to go have a yoga class and they in the grass with a teacher? Why don't tell you to wake up and ground yourself at your own home, wherever you're at, wherever it's a piece of grass at. Take your shoes off. Because the earth is the earth. Why you never had a commercial that's simply like that? They made every commercial. They made Coca-Cola commercials. They made every commercial known to man. They still making commercials. But have you ever seen a commercial where it just comes on and they show someone walking outside grounding themselves and then goes off? No, they're probably showing that with some medicine in the back, promoting some medicine, or some people meditating in the grass, promoting some Babylon prescription. Why is it not intentional? Right, because it wasn't time for that. We're going into the fourth and fifth dimension. We will start to see these things. You will start to see, yes, Babylon still will exist. Yes, you'll still be able to turn on the TV. The technology is not going nowhere. But certain things we will not see no more. When you turn on the TV, these certain movies that we've seen that we're going to have access to is not going to be like that no more. It's going to be more tech-driven. Way more technology. They're going to be showing so much technology in these next movies. And when you go into the fourth, fifth dimension with technology, it's going to be more purposeful. The video game is going to be more purposeful. The video games are going to turn into, jobs per se in the fourth and fifth dimension. We see this in movies and stuff already. We are really living in these times where if you're playing a certain game that some someone made, it will be able to create a job, because then it will become an industry for more of a purpose. If you want to play this video game that's fixing on planes, okay, you play this video game so much and you're great at it, okay, now you know how to fix the plane. Now you can do that from your house writing the code or whatever for the robot to do it, actually fix it. And now you're wealthy from your house. Yes, from playing a video game. Yes, that is the fourth and fifth dimension. Babylon teaches cash, and we already know that it's fading. It's already faded. And I just understand that when it comes down to GTA 6, whoever buys that game, you're gonna curse yourself. Because you're seeing certain things. We already know ain't nobody just go on GTA and just drive. And if you do, okay, Josh sees that. Josh sees that. But going to the fourth and fifth dimension, if certain things still exist, you're creating your own reality. Because there are going to be times where you're going to say, do I want to play GTA 6 or I'm going to ground myself first? Somebody going to say, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to play GTA first. Then you got to start the next day. And then the next day. Then the next day. Then the next day. That's the point of Babylon. It's so they can keep you. They can keep you attached to them in some way, somehow. If GTA has a way that you can ground yourself, that's where we can start. But I'm pretty sure they don't. So I'm not saying that the video games is not cool. I love video games. But why can't it be more purposeful? Why is it not a game where you wake up and ground yourself so then you create your own reality in real life? Why is it no game like that? Oh, because we live in the time for it to happen. Okay, bet. Well, in the fourth and fifth dimension, this is what we will see. Through this AA portal, this is what you will see. This is what we'll be a part of. We'll be a part of making highly vibrational games for children, for adults, for people that just love video games. We're going to start creating video games that's highly vibrational and cool because the technology is increasing. The technology will keep increasing. It's only going to get cooler when it comes down to the tech, the graphics and everything. That's not going nowhere. But it's more about what is the purpose of me playing this game? The graphics is amazing, but what is the purpose? Am I creating my reality? Is this for what purpose? Because I come from making beats on FL Studio, so I want the technology to keep going. I love it. I don't want FL Studio to go away. I'm for it. I'm for video game music. I love it. I love all that. I love that industry. So I'm not sitting there saying I'm against it. No, I love it. But some of these Babylon's following, so it's naturally going to increase. But we have to be the creators of these new video games. We're not artists for no reason, drawing and all this stuff for no reason. No, we're going into the fourth or fifth dimension naturally. You will have the opportunity to create your own video game. The tech is increasing. You will start to make your own video game music naturally because the tech will start to increase. Say, you know what, I'm gonna make my own video game. Why not? Why can't? Because you can now. You can make your own stuff now. Why not? The technology didn't exist to everybody back then, but it does now. You can make your own video game. Why not start? That's another step that we can say, you know what? I did all that from grounding myself. Yep. With no fear. You're going to say, how am I going to start creating my own video game? You're going to have no doubt. But if you look at it from the Babylon way, you're going to say, I need money. I need this. No, you don't. You know how to draw. You can start drawing the characters. There you go. How much their abilities and all this other stuff. However you want them to look. Start there. because we are going into this industry. We're going into this lane where these things will exist. It will only exist. If you want to survive, if you want, however people say we gotta make our bag. Okay, if you want to make your bag so bad, we live in a technology world. Learn how to make some instrumentals for video games, because video games ain't going nowhere. Learn how to start making your own video game, your own apps, because that ain't going nowhere. We have to be the creators. We are the creators of our own reality. But when you start to ground yourself, you start to say, hold on, I can really do anything. Yes, you can. Babylon made you wake up and not want to ground yourself and not be in tune with nature. Jah don't say that. Jah say go within. And that's what I'm realizing through Rastafari how it was meant to be hidden. Because it's not something that it chooses you. It's an overall balance saying I choose to be one with the Most High. I choose to be one with Jah. But I see why it was so hidden and why Bob Marley is so significant. He's so significant because he did it through the sound. He did it through a sound. When you mix spirituality through a sound, you're able to transmute it. Especially with the voice, you're able to transmute it. Especially with everyone playing different instruments, you're able to transmute it differently across the world. That was why he stood for what he stood for. He let his vibration, his music was felt around the world, and still now. It was a vibration. It's a mindset. It was an alignment. I'm sure if Bob Marley was existing in this time, he would have his own game. He would have his own lot of stuff, because he would know that naturally that the technology is increasing. Just like when he was here, he had to realize he had to put his music into the studios now, because in the 80s, that's when the studios, in the 70s, that's when the studios was being made. He had to know, okay, we have to take this into the studio now to get it mixed. Okay, cool. I have to work with these different, producers and engineers. Okay, cool. This technology is increasing. Just like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson knew. They had these high tech studios because the studios was here. It was already changing. So the tech that they have now, you wouldn't think that Michael Jackson wouldn't have his own app. Of course he would have his own app. Bob Marley would have his own app. Of course he would have his own app. Of course they would. Spreading it across the world to the people. Being independent. But we live in a different time now. The school programs will start showing you how to make your own app. They're already doing that. I already know they're already doing it. They're already showing children how to code. They're already showing children to be YouTubers. We already know this. So as more of the leaders of the fourth and fifth dimension, we must know this as our first nature. Like, hold on. We're not going to take away the electronics from them. No, that's not the point. It's going to exist in the future. So taking it away, that's not going to do anything. But using it purposeful will allow them and I and us as a whole to say, hold on, this creates currency. We can turn this into remote work. I'm understanding that, yes, I'm able to teach someone how to make beats or just follow my steps to then create your own sounds. To then, in the future, it passes the test of being in film, where you naturally have your own sound now, and now, okay, it reaches the point where you're like, hold on, okay, I want this in, I want to put this in something. I like this. I made my own music. I want to put some visuals to it. Keep it simple. I want to put it behind my YouTube channel. I want to put my own music behind my YouTube channel. Very simple. Why we got to use these Babylon sounds and pick a sound and use their music? No. Learn simply another skill to not go ask Babylon to do. Learn it yourself. Make it yourself that industry for it as well. This is how we are going to exist in the fourth and fifth dimension. We are all creators. We are creators of our own reality. But it starts by grounding yourself, It starts by saying, I'm gonna make a conscious choice every day to say, am I hungry or am I thirsty? Wake up and drink you some water. Have you some tea. And then go about your day and say, you know what? I wasn't really hungry, but now I'm hungry. Okay. Yes. Now you know when you're hungry. Having a balance with your body. Knowing that, hold on, I may feel like I'm hungry when I wake up, but let me have some tea instead and see how I feel after I have my tea. This is the mindset, this is the way of life that Rastafari, I'm knowing, is happening in this time. Because Babylon needs it. We need it. The people need it. When you're in tune with nature, you know what the earth needs. When you ground yourself, you know what the earth needs, and your body will naturally adjust to what the earth needs, and your you know, your gifts will start to increase. You say, I'll never know I was good at that. Yep, you are clairvoyant. Yep. Yes, you do have those spiritual gifts. Yep. You just wasn't in line. Okay, now you are. Go about what you're supposed to do. It's simply like when a superhero didn't know they had their powers, but once they found their power, they say, okay, go about your way. That's how it's going to feel. You're gonna be like, you're gonna awaken to yourself and say, I knew I knew I was this, but Babylon always was trying to do everything in their power to stop it. Yes, that was the whole point of Babylon. Yes, that was the whole point. The whole point was for them to say, no, they cannot awaken to their spiritual gifts. Don't allow it. Through the food, through the programming, through the movies, through the music, through the trauma, through the alcohol, through the drugs, through the racism, through the depression, through the prescriptions, through the opioids, the system. Yes, they tried everything in their power to say, kill them off. That's what Bob says in his music, but how did he say it? He said it in the more of a groovy way. Chuck in, yeah, we chuck in, but this is what's happening. This is what happened. But it's no longer. We live in a different time. Through this AA portal, it won't exist no more. If you're on a low vibrational frequency, that is on you. That is not on nobody else. Because when you're in tune with nature, you know when something's low vibrational. You know when something is right or wrong. There's no confusion. You know when someone is speaking with passion for purpose and not just speaking because they're upset. You know when something is not coming from a trauma, when something is coming from healing. You overstand with certain things. It's not just how certain people move. You say, hold on, that was righteous right there. I like what that person did. That was righteous. Oh, hold on, that was wrong. I know that's wrong because I'm in tune with nature. I know when something's wrong. If someone run over a squirrel in the yard, you know something's wrong with that. If you see roadkill, you know something's wrong with that. There's no question when you see something wrong with that. He's like, oh, I don't want to see that. You know it ain't right. No one likes to see no animals in the street dead. No one likes to see animals. No. If you like to see animals, something, no, that ain't right. So that's also the mindset. You know when something is right or wrong. There's no confusion. There's no fear. You just know, okay, I ground myself every day. I'm in tune with nature. I know when something's right or wrong. Because you resonate with the trees. You know if someone could go chop down these nice plants. You know, that wasn't nice. I like those plants. Those plants talk to me. I like those plants. Why they just cut them down like that? I like those trees. Why they just cut them down like that? Like that wasn't right. Yes. You would start to know, like, you just know certain things ain't right. If someone is whooping their dog because the dog ran outside, it's a dog. What do you expect? It's a puppy. So you're going to whoop your dog down just so it won't run outside, but it's a dog though. And you shouldn't let it happen. And it's a puppy. So how you gonna blame the dog? How you gonna whoop the dog for pooping in the house when you brought the dog to the house? You named the dog and said this is your house. So what do you think the dog gonna do when you bring the dog in the house? And it's a puppy, it ain't been trained yet. But you gonna whoop the dog just so they learn their lesson? Oh no, you just created a trauma. So now the dog don't want to go outside no more. So even if it was a fire, the dog is programmed now to not even go outside. So the dog will even stay in a house that's burning. Certain things just ain't right. Ja. Rastafari.